I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent. Angel Reese makes at least $5 million a year.
Angel Reese just made one of the craziest demands in WNBA history. She's out there making layups, struggling in almost every game, and getting into arguments with opponents because she feels like she should get NBA-level pay. If that wasn't enough, she even threatened to lock out if the league didn't comply with her demands.
Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, will you two idiots just shut up? Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
This goes beyond entitlement. It's delusion at its peak. Today, we're going to dissect why Angel Reese is so off base, how she's hurting the WNBA, and why no one would give a damn if she actually sat out. We're going to reveal how absurd this meltdown is.
You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year.
Angel Reese wants superstar money, but she can't even lay up. Let's start with the on-court problems. If you're going to demand more money, you should at least be playing at an elite level, and Reese isn't. In game after game, she's shooting some of the most inefficient numbers we've seen and putting up brick after brick while struggling to finish easy shots.
She just threatened the lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
You can tell everything you need to know by looking at her field goal percentage. You can't be a post player in your mid-30s and expect people to take you seriously, especially when you're the worst in the league at shots that are within 5 feet of the basket. Even her own admirers have begun to point out that she frequently misses her own shoots and grabs the board to inflate her rebounding figures. This isn't elite play. It's just glorified stat chasing.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Angel Reese has established a reputation for trash talk, pointless altercations, and extravagant antics, but the problem is that none of it translates to real success on the court. She is out there demanding NBA-level money while missing layups, turning the ball over, and creating drama rather than controlling games.
Angel Reese wants credit. The reason why WNBA is up is because of Angel Reese. She's not getting enough credit. She did this too. She taunted Caitlin Clark. She made this whole thing.
Despite being one of the most controversial characters in the WNBA due to her history of making fun of Caitlin Clark, starting arguments, and then acting like the victim when things don't go her way, Reese somehow feels that she is a big part of the league's expansion and should be paid more as a result.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
Let's obtain one item. Angel Reese, who is straight, isn't leading the WNBA or even coming close to it. The statistics show that Caitlin Clark is the reason for the surge and popularity, not her.
From the field, can somebody tell me who in the world watches a 35% shooter from the paint that is basically grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shot?
TV ratings soar and ticket prices triple when Clark performs in arenas. When he isn't there, interest and attendance decline. Conversely, Fade's Reese hasn't made any progress yet, but she has the gall to pretend that she is on par with Clark in terms of expanding the league. This isn't confidence, it's pure P fantasy.
Like if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything else.
Now that Reese is threatening to go on strike if the WNBA doesn't pay her more, she is further abusing her entitlement. Let's face it, why should the league spend more money on a player who hasn't demonstrated that she can dominate? Why should owners spend more money on someone who isn't even the best player in her position? Reese presents herself as an MVP contender, but she still has a ways to go before being regarded as one of the greatest in the WNBA. She believes this because of social media. She is automatically worth more when others hype her up, but in basketball, and most definitely not in business, hype does not equate to value.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Let me do the math real quick.
It might cover that. Yeah, it definitely covers that.
What is I don't even know my salary.
Is that Reese should attempt honing her skills first if she truly wants to increase her pay. She should concentrate on winning games, playing intelligent basketball, and becoming indispensable on the court. Complaining about pay and causing needless drama won't help her.
It's $8,000. I'm living beyond my means.
The best thing is that the WNBA wouldn't miss any of the recent players like D.J. Carrington. In fact, the league would even benefit from their absence due to their pointless antics.
Actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlin Clark has.
We have to be completely honest about this, whether we like it or not. 90% of this revived or renewed interest is really based around one singular player.
The WNBA will keep expanding with or without Angel Reese because Caitlin Clark and a few other outstanding players own the true star power, whereas Reese would only be another player who made big talk but couldn't support it on the court.
Criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our
Reese and Carrington are out there pretending that the WNBA is making billions of dollars. But let's face it, the league still depends on the NBA for financial support. These players expect NBA-level pay without even knowing how their own league functions.
game. All right, grow the game. All I'm saying is if you want to play with the big leagues, if you want to be somebody that transcends the game, you got to have a personality. I will give Angel Reese this. She has a personality. It's ignorance. It's stupid. I mean, it's really stupid.
Let's compare it to the NBA, which generates billions of dollars a year from ticket sales, TV deals, sponsorships, and merchandising. The WNBA continues to lose money each year. In fact, the league still depends on the NBA for funding, which brings in between $40 and $50 million a year to keep it afloat.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
This is where Reese truly reveals her ignorance. She recently complained on a podcast that future WNBA rookies will make more money than she will because of the next collective bargaining agreement. She acted as though this was some sort of massive injustice, utterly disregarding the fact that every professional league experience's salary increases over time as revenue grows. That's basic sports economics. Rather than concentrating on raising her game to land a bigger contract in the future, Reese is out there complaining about hypothetical paychecks that don't even exist yet.
To be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history. Clarkonomics, my friend.
And I have a suggestion for you. Don't sit out.
However, let's address the most significant myth. Yes, Reese continues to promote the notion that she is in charge of the WNBA's expansion.
D.J. Carrington, you wouldn't even know who she was if she didn't try to beat up Caitlin Clark in a game. You wouldn't even know, but these two clowns got together as the dumbest people in sports and saying, wait for it, they need more money, threatening to hold out if they don't get what they want.
Reality check. She isn't Caitlin Clark, and the statistics show it. Clark is the reason behind every significant increase in WNBA attendance and viewership this season. Not because of Reese, but rather because Clark is a generational talent who has fundamentally altered the league's landscape. Indiana Fever games are selling out nationwide.
I think Angel's more concerned about being an influencer, content creator, over being a better basketball player. This was her taking pictures, hanging out with some rappers and producers, etc.
You think you could get a bucket in this format, full court 3-on-3?
You don't think I can get a bucket?
Yeah.
If Angel.
In contrast, people aren't lined up to watch Reese's games because of her missed layups and pick fights. The WNBA is dominated by a select group of marketable superstars, and Reese isn't one of them.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skill. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
This is Angel Reese, the content creator side. It's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost. This is all helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans incoming.
However, she still feels that she should receive a huge salary because she is loud and dramatic. However, sports salaries are determined by value rather than noise. If the WNBA were $1 billion industry, players could certainly negotiate for enormous contracts. But since the league is still having financial difficulties and Rhee isn't even close to being one of the best players, why should she be receiving a larger check?
I cannot believe this is actually a clip that somebody put out to try to make her look good. This makes her look terrible. I'm shocked. That was pathetic. And then finally, she makes the layup. We're celebrating that? Really? Taller than hell out there. Can't hit a layup. Get in the lab, shoot 200 layups a day, every single 365 days. Is there anybody else in the WNBA or NBA that does this more than Reese? From tonight's game, third quarter, in 16 seconds, Reese took 4 shots, missed the first 3 shots, got an offensive rebound off her own 3 misses, and then finally made the 4th. But, quote, double-double, this looks just like Chicago Sky shit from last year.
In fact, WNBA owners may be glad if players like Reese decide to retire, since it would free them from continuing to spend money on mediocrity. The harsh reality is that Reese's entitlement and total ignorance are placing her in a terrible situation. She believes she is pressuring the NBA to give her a huge pay increase, but all she is doing is showing how little she knows about the sports industry. If Reese and her peers follow through on their vacuous threats to withdraw, the league won't fail. In fact, it will likely flourish without them. Next, we'll examine why Angel Reese's most recent outburst is making her appear even worse, how she is damaging her own reputation, and why she is causing irreparable harm to her future in the league.
You got to see this clip. Runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind her. No skill.
So Lexi Hall's right here, right? She's going to come out here. She gets the ball, going to pass it into Angel. Look at this, folks. That's Lexi Hall. Wide ass open. Does she get the ball? Angel not only did not pass the ball back out to Lexi Hall, but she missed another freaking layup.
The WNBA isn't the biggest threat to Angel Reese's career at this point, rather than demonstrating her value through skill and production. She is out there making demands that no sane person would take seriously. Let's face it, Angel Reese is replaceable. She isn't an MVP caliber player, a dominant scorer, or even a consistent presence on the court. Instead, she is an ineffective shooter who struggles to finish at the rim, starts pointless arguments, and thrives on controversy rather than talent. So what would the WNBA be losing if she chose to sit out? Nothing.
People thought there was great momentum. People thought Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch Angel Reese. Come on.
We know that the WNBA numbers with her and versus the numbers in the WNBA without her also have a major gap. And this really makes us realize the power of Caitlin Clark, the appeal of Caitlin Clark.
On their podcast, Rhee and Dee Carrington made a big scene by boldly declaring that if you don't give us what we want, we're sitting out. But the real question is, who would even care? This isn't the NBA, where a superstar sitting out would send shockwaves through the league. In the WNBA, players like Reese taking a break would hardly register. In fact, WNBA owners might even welcome it. The league is already having financial difficulties, and with players demanding money, it doesn't have a few of them stepping away could help keep things afloat. When teams invest in real stars like Caitlin Clark, who are bringing in record numbers, or waste money on players who cause more controversy than actual production, the answer is clear.